I'm going to pass it over to you, Joe, so you can introduce our incredible speaker. You guys make sure you have notes, pens, make sure your screens are on blanks. You are paying attention. We are going to hear from a $900,000 earner this morning. What a blessing it is. And he took out his time to speak to us. So Joe, Susanna, go ahead. I pass it over to you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's excited. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Good deal. Good deal. All right, guys. Hey, I don't want to steal none of his thunder, but I just want to tell you guys that if you guys don't know me, I started under Joe Tansey's direction. I started in his bake shop, and this is the guy that man, he truly loves the business. He truly loves teaching the concepts and fundamentals of what we do, and he's here to develop many people. But man, he has such a great organization. What's going on here? We have are you pinned, Jackie, or something? Give me a second, guys. But anyway, so let me tell you real quick about Joe Tansey. Basically, man, he has an awesome organization. By the way, the name of his team, they are the Sharks. So I was a shark. Okay, I started as a shark. When I moved down, I was still like a small shark. Okay, I was still I wasn't swimming yet. Okay, but I learned a lot from them. I attribute a lot of what I know to them. I mean, I always tell them I owe you a lot because man, he truly helped me a lot. But let me tell you real quick though, man, he has such an awesome organization. He currently has over he has 12 regional vice presidents. One of them is an SVP making over 600,000, 570 licenses. Okay, $2.6 billion in face amount in force. That's a lot, guys. $92 million in assets under management. Just in trust, this guy is making a lot of money, guys. Okay, but here's the big one, guys. He's at 970,000 in income for the year. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this month or by the end of next month, he's going to be like $1 million earner number 112. So mark my word. So I don't want to steal his thunder. So without further ado, please give it up for Mr. Joseph Tansey.
Woo!
What's up?
How we doing? How we doing in Florida, man? It's snowing. It was snowing up here all week. It's cold. You guys are t-shirts, and who's going to the beach today? But that's awesome. Hey, I'm so excited to be part of your Super Saturday today. And as you know, life is great. And, you know, thank God for Primerica, because if it wasn't for Primerica, you know, we all wouldn't have the fortune to be in such a great company with such great people. We would have never met had it not been for Primerica. Think about all the relationships we have today. And you look back and say, oh my God, it's all because, you know, of Primerica. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't have met this person. I wouldn't have met that person. So we got to definitely give thanks for everything that we have, and really appreciate the fact that we have such a great company with great leadership like Glenn Williams at the helm, but also outstanding leadership that we have as business leaders, as the RVPs in Primerica. And as you guys see, as the aviators, right? Because you guys are flying high. But also, as you can see with Ed and Yvonne, you guys got such great leadership. And if it wasn't for a great leadership, we wouldn't have the vision that we have to really want to take off and do something big. But what I wanted to share with you guys today is to see how maybe I could help your team to really expand your vision so you guys could, you know, take over. And I know you guys are on the Ruby Run also. And that's a huge deal, guys. This is something that is going to be in the history books, right? As Joe said, you know, right now we're either going to be 112 or 113. That I know, because there's only two people right now. It's me and the Barragons, and we're at 970, and our team is committed to getting it done this month. So we're fighting to make this happen. But I just wanted to share with you guys that, you know, you guys, your team, your hierarchy is where I was about 7-8 months ago. Okay, that's how fast you guys could change. 7-8 months. So you guys gotta really sell out to understand what's going on. And I think I could help you guys with what's going to happen, because the one thing that I love about Primerica is, you know, people get scared of, well, the fear of unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. But you guys know as well as I know, because we're in the financial service business. How many times have you sat with somebody and you're helping them with their F&A, and you're helping them with their retirement and this and that, and they're looking like, you ever sit with the client and goes, well, you know, I'm young, I'm 35, I'm 40. Yeah, retirement's so far, you know, don't worry about it. And then you ask them, you say, let me ask you a question. How long, do you have any other people at the job that been there as long as you, or that are actually 65 that are still, yeah, I do. Okay. So now look at where they're at. Where they're at is where you're going to be if you keep doing that route. And they never pick up, and they never get that. They never see that. They never, hey, no, I got a good job. Okay. So go down the road. Look at anybody who's been there 30 years, 25 years. What type of lifestyle are they living when they retired? Or actually somebody that retired in the last 2 years, how are they retiring? Oh man, they're not doing well. Okay. So how do you not know what's going to happen to you? See, life leaves clues. You just got to look at somebody who's been there before you and see what they have or what they don't have. And you'll identify, and you could see that. You know, we see that all the time. So the good thing about Primerica is that you see all the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, right? And you could see it from people in the business. You could see it. Look, I know for me, when I got into business, so just so you guys understand, I got in when I was 21. I saw Primerica my last semester of college. I went to college to get a finance degree, right? Because my family didn't have money. There was no other reason, right? My mom told me, you got to go to college. And I was like, okay, I'll go to college, but I want to do something that I want to do. And one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to find out why people have money and why I didn't have money, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. Right? This is how bad I was in high school, okay? Now, if your kids brought home a report card like this, you'd be upset. FDFCF, FCFFFF, CCDDD. Oh, there's a B. What the heck was that? It was Jim, okay? Jim, I got a B, okay? FFD. How the heck that happened? How the heck that happened? Look, the number 43, right? Wait up, let me see. That's absences. See the word absence? 43 absences. How the heck? 43 absences, C, D, F, F, C, D. How the heck did you become a multimillionaire? Well, I'll tell you one thing. This was because of the people I hung around with. Remember, who you hang around with is who you become. In high school, I hung around the wrong people, right? Let's go cut, let's do this, blah, 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 blah. At one point in my life, I said, man, I don't want this. I want to change. I want to be somebody, right? So when I went to college, I said, let me get rid of, and that's when I got rid of all my friends. I got rid of them. I mean, when I say I got rid of them, I mean, I stopped calling them. I stopped hanging out. See, you guys come in Primerica and you don't want to get rid of your friends that told you no. You don't want to get rid of your friends that you sat with and showed how to replace their whole life policy, and they didn't want to get rid of it because they said that the person who sold it to them sends them the Christmas card every year, and you showed them how it works, and you still friends with them. They're not your friends. See, one thing you learn is as you get older, you learn what friends really mean. The word friend is. You understand? See, most of the people we know are acquaintances. They're not friends. Because a perfect example, right? And this is the slogan, right? Friends don't let friends drive home drunk, right? Right? Okay. So friends don't let friends do that, because if I let somebody go in the car and I know, man, why would I do that? You gotta stand up and you gotta, hey, look, you don't do this. But when you start looking, friends don't let friends end up poor. And they encourage people to do something in their life. They don't discourage them. So when I went to college, that's the first time where I started some leadership principles of getting rid of people around me. And when I got rid of people around me and I got in, I said, let me find out how money works. And that's why I studied finance, which they didn't tell me anything, right? Finance, they just taught me how to buy a book at $200 and resell it at the bookstore for $20, right? They taught me how to fail in business. That was not a good business move. So I and then as I was going to the classes, right? I started paying attention. And I kept asking the instructors, how do you make money in the market? How do you invest? And you know what they kept saying to me? Joe, you don't have enough money. You can't do that. You don't have enough money, right? You don't have enough money. So now fast forward my last semester of college, I saw Primerica at a job fair. That's why, here's the thing you got to understand. The right person is going to always be the right person. The wrong person is always going to be the wrong person. So you don't turn somebody into a right person. You don't turn somebody into the wrong person, even though we try. I know for me, my first 4 years, 5 years, I tried to make people successful, turn them into something they weren't, and all that. And all I got was frustration, anxiety, issues. I was, all that stuff. But as I started learning that the right person is always going to be the right person. And here's the key. Remember, you find people. Our job is to find them. It's their job to develop themselves. Okay? Well, our job is to put them in an environment, Jackie. We put them in this environment. Now watch this. I'll give you a perfect example. We all have somebody here that we invited them to come, or they said they were coming and they didn't show up. So now, you know what we say? Oh man, they missed the best training. Man, they should have been here. Look, don't worry about them, because you can't change somebody's life. You got to be present in a moment and say, man, I don't care who's here. I just care that I'm here. Because at the end of the day, when you're on an airplane and they go through and they say, look, if you have a small child, the first person that needs to put the mask on is you. And then you put the mask on the kid. Why is that? Because if you faint, you can't help you. Both you guys are in trouble. So in business, in our business, in leadership, you got to first take care of yourself with this leadership. So I never look and, hey, get on. No, if they ain't on, they ain't on, because if I'm texting them, I'm missing out the message for myself. And the message is for me. I'm the one who's going to change my life, not someone on your team. Because if I'm taking notes and I'm in the message, then guess what the person on my team who's the right person is doing? The same thing. But if you're always looking to try to, hey man, no, you got to be in there. So now it took me probably 6 or 7 years to figure out what I just told you there. You find people. You don't develop them, you find them, you put them in an environment, and you guys have a great environment. Your leadership environment is the key. So what our job is to find people, put them in the environment. They're going to develop themselves based on our example. So as a leader, the better example you set is what people are going to follow. That's why you got to always be a personal producer. You're personally producing each month, that personally recruiting, personally training districts, personally getting people their bonus. The more you do that, the more people are going to want to emulate and be you. So it's not you're trying to get people to follow you, right? You're not going after them. See, success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. And I'm not talking beautiful, right? I'm talking not like Joe. Joe, look at that. Joe got his nice. I'm trying to be like Joe I let it grow a couple of days, right? Because I'm lazy. I didn't want to shave. But then Martine said, oh, it looks good. All right, I'll leave it. At least I could grow hair somewhere, right? As you get older, it comes out the ears and the nose. It doesn't go on the top. I don't know. I don't figure that one out. But you guys got to understand here. Success is something you attract to you. So what happens is in the beginning, I was trying to be aggressive and go and get people, come on. When in fact, it's the opposite. People are going to follow you because of what you're doing and what you're becoming. So as you lead by example, people are going to want to emulate and want to become you. And that's a different twist. So as I started to learn that, okay, I got to be the example. I got to be the one, right? And I'll give you an example, because we were just doing some training on John Maxwell this morning, right? And one of the things he was talking about, which is key, is that consistency over time compounds, right? So if we take it like the example of compound interest with putting $100 a month, the way it works in our business is, if you get a client, you put $100 a month, after 12 months, they call you, hey, Joe, I thought I'd have $1 million. I only got 1,200. I only got 1,100. Yeah, because it takes time to compound. When I showed you the illustration, it wasn't 1 year. It was 25, 30, 35 years. Oh, okay. So I got to keep going. So what happens here is the same thing in our business. So everything takes time to compound. All the books you read, all the trainings you attend, right? Those take time to compound. But now watch this. One thing we were learning this morning is when you make a decision to change your life, right? Because it's a decision you got to make. It's a decision. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being where I am. I'm tired of being, I don't have a huge team. I don't have this. I don't have residual income. I'm tired of this. When you make a decision to change your life, what happens is the key is self-discipline. The only way you get self-discipline is when you're passionate about what you're doing. Because when you're passionate about what you're doing and believe in, that's where you create the willpower to create the self-discipline. So again, let's go back. You find winners. Well, Joe, I'm recruiting people, they're lazy. No, they're not lazy. It's just they don't know what they want. See, as a leader, you got to help them find what they want. And if they ain't ready to find what they want, you got to go find somebody that wants it. And the key here is when you find a recruit that knows what they want, it doesn't matter market, no market, all that crap. I used to think I didn't have a market. I remember when I first came in, my original upline didn't have the vision. He's like, oh, Joe, remember, you're young, so you probably don't know anybody but young people. And I was like, yeah, I don't know any, you know any older? No, I don't know any older people. I mean, old people are old, right? I don't know any old people, right? Anybody? Come on. Remember when you were young? Stop that. When you were young. And now we got people on a team, and this is funny. Hey, Joe, I'm recruiting a young person. I'm like, a young person? In my head, young is like in their 20s, right? And I'm like, oh, how old are they? Oh, they're about 35, 40. And I'm like, that ain't young. That ain't young. I'm like, young is like in their 20s, right? So now I'm focused on how can I change my life, right? How can I do this? So the key is consistency. The key is compounding over time, right? So the trainings you attend, the books you read, the appointments you go on, they all give you experience, and experience, if you pay attention to it, can turn into insight to make you change. So the biggest challenge that I see, okay, after 25 years being in the business, is this. When people go try something, you go on an appointment, it doesn't work. Your recruit doesn't, quits, whatever it is, this is what happens. We get down. Joe, I don't know, man. I ain't no good. That appointment, it didn't close, man, the person quit. I thought the recruit was going to do it, man, and you're down on yourself. And this is the biggest thing. If you're putting yourself down, you can't learn anything from that lesson. You can't learn anything from the lesson. So my mentor, Frank Dillon, he worked on me like that, like crazy. I'd be down. No, Frank, I'm young. I don't know people. And I remember Frank was the first person that said to me, he said, he said, Joe, wait, what? What did you say? Yeah, Frank, I'm young. I don't know people. He said, what the heck are you talking about? Man, I wish I was 21 years old again. Man, if I was 21 years old again, I wouldn't have went and did what I did and became a doctor. I would do Primerica and I have freedom. And he reframed it for me. I was over there thinking I was too young. And I would tell people my excuse. Oh, I can't do it because I'm too young. I don't have a big team because I'm young. And then Frank comes over and says, man, it's actually the opposite. Man, I wish I was your age. And then I started to think and I said, wait a minute. Yeah, Frank's 46. I'm 21. Frank was making $215 at 46. I was 21. I said, yeah, even if I mess up for 10 years, and at the end of 10 years, I make 100,000 a year, I'm making more than 96% of the population. And then it hit me. And then I started to change the way I thought. And I switched and I made my youth was a strength. Just like for Frank, his age was a strength, right? So I had to change the way I thought. And Frank was teaching me, stop getting down when something doesn't go your way. Stop blaming yourself, putting yourself down. When you do that, you miss the lesson. Now, remember, we all know this. You learn more from failures than you do successes, right? Anybody ever heard that? You learn more from failure than you do success. Okay? Now, wait, we learn more from failure than we do success. So when we have successes, we don't analyze and say, why did we have that success? We're just so excited, man. So if we're supposed to learn from our failures, like when we fail, something doesn't work, we're supposed to sit there and go, okay, you know what? Let me see. That didn't work. Why didn't it work? And I'll take an example, very, very simple. Take a kid who's playing baseball and you're getting him coaching lessons, batting lessons, because he's not hitting the ball. And the coach goes and starts training him. Now, let me ask you a question. The kid already knows he's not hitting the ball, right? Is that true? He already knows. That's why he got the coach. So he's not upset. He's already there. So now the coaches start telling him, go ahead, do your swing. Let's see it. And then the kid does his swing. And then the coach starts telling him, okay, so now here's what you got to do. You got to put your elbow up. You got to do this with your foot. You got to do that. Now the kid is listening, going, okay, I got to do this. Okay, so now do a swing. Okay, so now remember, the only reason why you're not good with this swing I'm teaching you right now is because you don't have the repetitions, the reps. So as you do it 100 times, it's going to become easier. Now think about it. The swing you have currently, how many times you've done it? Oh my God. Man, I've been playing baseball for 5 years. Okay, so you have 5 years of, so now we just got to keep practice. We got to just keep practice. So here's what I want you to do. Every day you get up, I need you to do 100 swings like that in your basement, out in the grass, whatever. And the kid doesn't cry. The kid doesn't do it. He just does it. Now, fast forward to us. I'll fast forward to me. Frank, I don't want to go on an appointment. Why? Well, what if I mess up? What if they ask me a question I don't know? What if they do this? I don't know. He says, Joe, stop that crap. Stop that crap. What if they ask you a question you don't know? Well, let me ask you a question. You ever went to the doctor? Yeah. You asked him a question? Yeah. Did he know every answer? Well, no, Frank, he didn't know every. Okay, so why do you think you need to know every answer? Oh, I thought that when you're a professional, no. Frank's like, I'm a doctor for how many years? You know how many books I still read and research? And if somebody asks me a question I don't know, you know what my answer is? That's a good question. Let me write it down and let me do the research and I'll get back to you. Let me ask my colleagues. Let me go ask some people who had people with those situations. I'm like, wow, wait. You mean I could say that? Yeah. And when you say it, it makes you look better. But if we're allowing the moment of failure to put ourselves down, you can't learn from it. So if you learn from your failures, more from your failures than your successes, then why are we putting ourselves down when we fail? And the only answer is because we don't believe in ourselves. We're trying to put ourselves down because that's the way we're programmed. So what I'm trying to share with you guys right now is you're going to miss closings. You're going to miss recruits. So what? Who cares? The question you got to ask yourself, what did you learn from this? Look, Joe could tell you, man, the question I always ask people, my team, when they go on an appointment and they didn't do it well. And guys, we all know when somebody didn't do well on an appointment, right? We all know it's a Primerica. Doesn't matter what state you're in, right? Doesn't matter where you're at. This is the Primerica way when you know your people did not do well in the field. They don't call you. Right? Right? Okay, hey, Joe, you got that carry back to, yeah, okay. All right, call me later. 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. You ever do this? Look at your phone to see if it works. Is it working? Let me see if he called. Let me check the missed call. No. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Must have been a good appointment. 1 o'clock. The next day, you're like, okay. Hey, Joe, what's up? What's up? Man, how'd it go last night? It didn't go good. I messed up. Isn't that true? So what happens here is I learned that the key is, what did you learn from it? So Frank told me, he said, okay, Joe, so all right, you missed the closing. All right, you cried. All right. So let me ask you a question. What did you learn from it? I don't know what I learned, Frank. I suck. I'm no good. They say, no. All right, get rid of that. So what did you learn from this? All right, let's go through it. Let's look. And then all of a sudden, when I got through it and he would show me, oh man, Frank, you know what? It was a strong commitment. Man, I got it. Now, when you learn from it and he teaches you, guess what you want to do? You want to go out right away and try. I got an appointment today. I'm going to try this. And you can't wait to get on that appointment because you want to try it. It's just like the kid that strikes out. And the next time at bat, he's like, I want to get up. I want to get up against this kid again. I know what he's doing now. I got it. I know his curveball. I know what to do. I got batters in the dugout who said, Joe, it's his curveball. What was it? Oh, yeah, it's out on the left side. And the coach says, look, remember, it's out. Okay, I can't wait to get up again. But in Primerica, they don't want to go in the field again. They miss the closing. They miss the recruit. They're in bed. They miss trainings. They don't, and they're that way. You guys, you can't do that. I've been there. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you could get out of your own way and don't worry, don't stop saying you're not good enough. Stop saying you're instead, you got to ask the question, what did I learn from this? If you did that, look, I made $101 my 9th month in the business. No one was more plagued with limiting beliefs and disbelief and all that crap, fear, all that stuff than me. I recruited my first person 12 months in the business. I was 12 months in, I got my first recruit. Now, mind you, I showed up to every training, right? It wasn't that Joe got recruited and didn't show up. I was there every op night, every Saturday training, right? I got my license. It took me, I got in like April. I got my license in September. Well, Joe, why did it take so long to get your license? I didn't have the money. Back then, we didn't have this $99 pay for all your licensing. I had to pay for my licensing. So I had to pay for the licensing class, which was like, whatever, almost $400. So I had to wait until I borrowed $400 or made $400 to go and take the class. And then, you know, in New Jersey, once you pass the class, the license was $380. So you had to wait until you got the money. Whereas now it's so good, you know, company pays for all that stuff. So it took me, whatever, 4 months or 5 months to get my license. It took me 9 months. I closed my first sale, right? $101 I made. 12 months in, I recruited my first person. I'm showing up to every training, okay? Mind you, showing up to every training. Second year in the business, I made $3,300 full time. Showing up to every training, you know. That's when Frank Dillon and JR went out to see Hector Lamarck. And this is when I knew. This is when I knew. This was like, Joe, how did you know? Like, this is when I knew, because I didn't understand the business. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. So I remember when Frank's upline $1 million earner, Ron Schmidt Jr., you know, came down, he said, hey, look, we're going out to see Hector Lamarck. You know, he's $1 million earner, you know, fastest growing organization. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could go. And I'm like, oh man, they ain't gonna pick me. I'm like 0 by 0, 1 by 1, you know, all this crap. And then JR goes, yeah, no, it's, you know, if you guys want to go, you could go. I'm like, okay, how do we go? And then the guy said, well, you know, your company pays for it. Oh, the company pays for it? And I said, oh, how do they do that? He says, no, your company pays for it. My company? What do you mean my company? Meaning you pay for it. I said, wait, I pay for it? So I could go if I paid for the trip? And I go, yeah. Okay. So now watch this. There were like 20 people, 30 people in the room. You know how many people went? Me and Frank. The price tag was too high. I ain't doing that. They got to pay for me. And I'm like, guys, the guy's making 1.9 million a year, and we're going to go see the system. And I listen to say, and you ain't going to pay to get better? That's when I knew. That's when I knew I was made for this, because I saw when the price gets too high, people give up. And that right there, when I went with Frank and I slept in one hotel room with 9 men, that's when I knew, right? 9 men who snore, who I couldn't sleep, man. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, but it didn't matter about the sleep. It mattered where I was, what I saw. And then we came back and we just tore it up. But see, here's the thing. You gotta have someone in your business that you could partner with. Your RVP. Here's the thing that gets me. People, you want to be an RVP. An RVP is going to be the one closest with the RVP, because it's about relationship. It's about coachability. If I'm close with Frank, that means I get to learn from Frank. If I'm not close with Frank, I ain't learning from Frank. See, guys, this is a business where the better the relationship, the closer you get with your mentor, you're able to learn more from them. You're able to get better because you got to learn what they're learning. And the only way you can learn is if you're open and coachable and you don't put yourself down when a failure happens. You got to learn how not to get upset when things don't go your way. Instead, you got to ask yourself the question, what can I learn from this? When you start asking yourself the question, what can I learn from it? Guess what happens? All the doors open up. I don't know about you, but I think it says that ask and you shall receive, right? I think that's what it says in the Bible. And yet we're not obeying it. We're just, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. I'm this. Guys, get out of that. Don't worry about that. Do what everything else in the world does. If you fail at something, you get up and you go back and you say, what did I learn from it? And you got to learn when you get a success. What did you do to get that success? Most people I just recruited 10 people. Wait, time out. Okay, so what are the steps that you did to get to 10? I don't know, man. I was just excited. See, your steps that you did to become successful. And if you repeat the steps, you'll get the same success. So what you got to learn how to do is when you get success, you got to learn how to write down, what did you do? So let me give you a simple formula here. Simple formula. Okay. Everyone here, when you've done something and you got good results, take your time to write down what is it that you did. Because when you're not as excited and not as up, all you got to do is go back to the card that you wrote the success steps on and go back to your steps again. See, that's a secret right there. Everybody here could win. Why? Because the leaders who went before you know what I'm talking about. They know the steps. They've been there. It's just like when a new recruit comes in and they say, hey, Joe, I don't want to go to my hot and warm market. I'd rather go with the cold. I'm better with the cold. It's like, okay, I've been here 25 years. I've been in the cold. I've been in the hot. And trust me, you don't want to be in the cold. So why would you want to be in there? No, I just think that, and it's not about, right? It's not about they don't know yet. They don't know. They have limiting beliefs that are holding them back as to why they want to go into the cold versus the hot. So as a leader, one thing that you got to learn as a leader is you got to learn how to help people break their limiting beliefs. And here's the thing, the fastest way to do that is help yourself, because we all have limiting beliefs that are limiting us, telling us that we can't do it. And remember, a belief is something that I believe is true or certain to me. So they're not real. They're just something we learned from the past that we said, you know, this equals that because this is what I saw. So when you start learning about this, you're going to see you only will grow when you break through your belief, right? So here, let me give you an example. What happens when you recruit somebody and you sit with them and you say, hey, you know, did you ever think about ever changing your life, or did you ever want to be a millionaire? Oh, yeah, no, that's, millionaire. Nah. Why? Why? That's their belief. Well, maybe because their parents used to stay in the house, saying in the house, rich people are bad. Rich people are evil. Guys, every movie you watch portrays rich people as the bad guy. Go look at any movie. Who's the bad guy? Not a broke guy. It's the person with the money. So we've been programmed our whole life, parents, people around you, everything, that people that have money are evil, bad, and all this. So let me ask you a question. How could you become something that you believe is not good? And the answer is you won't. You won't. That's why do you think you see people that win the lottery go broke or more depressed when they had the money? Why do you see people that make a lot of money, movie stars, actors, athletes, all of them make, Mike Tyson, $500 million broke? So it's not, well, Joe, he needed better money management. It's not money management. It's beliefs. It's beliefs. So a good book that you guys might want to read about it, because we're in the money business, right? We're in the money business, okay? Is The Psychology of Money. This is a good book that I'm reading right now. And man, let me tell you, this is, because here's one thing I know. I had to break my money beliefs when I got into business. Frank Dillon had to break his money beliefs when he got into business. I promise you, your leaders had to break their money beliefs, or else they wouldn't accumulate wealth, right? So when you start understanding what beliefs are, see, we have empowering beliefs that serve us, but now we have disempowering beliefs that limit us. That's why we call them limiting beliefs. So there's a lot of research done on this, a lot of books, a lot of stuff. If you really want to change your life, this is the most important thing that I could tell you that changed my life. Most important. My self-improvement on learning how I could become better and find the beliefs that were installed in me when I was younger that I didn't choose. See, now you're an adult. You get to choose what you want to believe in, right? Think about it. We all sit here and say, man, we love serving people. We love helping people in Primerica, life insurance, investments. And we all have examples. Man, look what I was able to do for this client. We invested $100 a month. And now look, they got $300,000 saved. We were able to do this, and the person died, and we delivered a $600,000 death claim. And man, we paid off the mortgage. We did this. And we all have examples all the time. We all have examples all the time. But yet, why aren't we helping more people? Why aren't you able to do 7 to 10 life apps a month? Why aren't you able to do 7 to 10 recruits a month? So you got to look, okay, so if I see what I do is right, but I'm not able to do it, I can't get myself off the couch. I can't get myself, man, Joe, after I get off of every Saturday meeting, I get so excited, I want to do it, but then I don't make my phone calls. See, that's what you got to look at. It's not that you're not a bad person, you don't want to win. No, I did that every training. Every training I get out, oh man, I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden I'd have my list and I'd be like, okay, it's 12 o'clock on a Saturday. You know what? They're probably out, because on Saturdays people go out. They're probably not home. So I'll call them at 3. Okay, yeah, that's right, Joe. Call them at 3, because they'll probably be home. They'll be settled down. 3 o'clock comes. Now it's a beautiful day. they're probably not home, and then they're driving. And if they're driving, they can't write down the date and time, and maybe the wife isn't there. I'll call them in the evening. 7 o'clock comes. You know what? They're probably eating dinner. You know what? Sunday. People are home Sunday. I'll call them Sunday. That way they're calm. They'll look at their schedule. Sunday comes. Okay, I'm going to call them now. But, they're at church. I can't bother them at church. If the phone goes off in church, they're going to not want to set an appointment with me. Let me just let it go. And then 3 o'clock comes. Wait, was it 10 o'clock they went to church, or in the afternoon they went to church? I don't know. Wait, you know what? Don't do that. Maybe do it at 5. I don't know if any of you had that. I had that. I had that going. And it's not, so I would get off a great training, and then I wouldn't make any phone calls because of that. Because what am I thinking? What am I thinking? I have limited beliefs. Now watch this. Let's take a similar example. Forget the business. Forget the business. Forget the business. Your wife, your husband, honey, the sink broke. What? The sink broke? Yeah. Oh, shoot. I don't know how to fix this. Oh, but you know what? I got my friend Brian. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me see what Brian's doing today. Let me see. Hey, Brian. Hey, what are you doing today? What are you doing? Nothing? Yeah, good. I need your help. The sink broke. I got to fix it. Can you come with me? We're going to Home Depot. Look, I'll just come pick you up. Don't worry about it. We'll do it late. I'm coming to pick you up. All right, bye. You didn't think about that phone call. You didn't sit there and say, it's 10 a.m. What if I call Brian now, I ask him to fix the sink, what do you think he's going to say? He's probably still sleeping. We don't think that way. We never thought that way. It's only until you get into business do you start thinking that way, right? That was me. That was most people. Is that right? So what you got to understand here, guys, you got to start looking and say, okay, I want to change my life. I want to do the business. How can I do this? Well, it comes down to your beliefs, right? I'm just sharing with you 3 recruits, 3 years. I said, how did someone like that, my 3rd year in business, I made $12,000. How did I go from that 2 years later, make a 6-figure income? I went from that, my 5th year in business, I made $129,000. My 6th year in business, I made $364,000. I was 26, 27 years old. I was making $30,000 a month, right? How did that happen? I'm telling you how it happened. I worked harder on myself than anything else. I changed from, man, Frank, I suck, I'm no good, to, hey, Frank. I call my upline after appointments and everything because I got to get their experience and feedback. Hey, Frank, hey, look, I just went on this appointment with Bill. Actually, we went on 2 appointments. I didn't get any strong commitments. I didn't get this. I just wanted to go over some things that I saw and tell me if I'm right. So this is the thing. When I went on the first appointment, they didn't want to pull out their policy. They were like standoffish. So I was trying to think of what is a way where I could, get them to be more open. I couldn't figure out what would you do in that situation? Oh, Joe, okay. That's good. That's a good question. So here's the thing. What I would do is, remember, it's finance. People don't want to show their stuff. So they're not going to show their stuff unless you get the trainee to show their stuff and you show their stuff first. Wait. Say it again. So if I get the trainee to show their plan of what we did for them, that will create some type of jealousy. What? Jealousy? Yeah. Well, think about this. You go get a new car, and first thing you do is go show your friend a new car. What do you think your friend's doing? He want to go get a new car too. Okay. I missed that. So the trainee's job is not just to set the appointment. No, it's to testify. I got you. So wait, if you get the trainee to say, hey, look, Joe and Maddie, we known each other 15 years. You know Justin and Trevor. Man, look, I had no college funds for my kid. They were going to get student loans. we didn't have no coverage. We didn't have this. We had this crappy plan with New York Life. We didn't know we were getting screwed. And look at my care. And now look what Joe and it did for me. Look, now my kids have college funds. Now we got a retirement. Look at how much coverage we have. Yeah, this is why I'm so excited I got involved with Joe in the business. And they're paying for me to get my licenses. Oh, honey, do you have that plan? No, we don't have that plan. Okay. So do you think they would ask us? Frank, man, that's awesome. All right, I'm going to go try that. I got another appointment. Can't wait to try it. I'll call you back with the results. And then after we get over, hey, Frank, man, dude, it worked. Oh my God, Frank, it was so easy. Oh my God, it was so easy. And not only that, but the trainee was so excited. See that? But if you're not calling your upline and you're not going over what, Frank, I don't know what I missed. I think this is what I missed. And you don't go start having that, it's almost like, it's like an inventor. It's like an inventor trying to invent something. When they fail at it, they go right and they write down, well, this didn't work. It's like when they say Thomas Edison, he failed 10,000 times. No. That's not what he says. He says, I found 9,999 ways not to make the light bulb. And the one that worked, it worked. See, it's all on how you frame it. I'm sharing with you, if I could go from 3 recruits in 3 years to where I was to changing my life, I'm giving you what happened. I stopped beating myself up when I didn't win. I stopped when I missed a closing or missed a recruit. I stopped doing that. I started reaching out to my upline and saying the question, what did I learn from this? Hey, when you're in that situation, Mr. RVP, when you're in that situation, what do you do? See, that's what starts changing. That's when you start changing. That right there. Getting around the right people, started changing my beliefs. How do you change your beliefs? I just showed you, right? First, you got to identify your belief. What's holding me back? And it's very simple to identify this. Okay, so let me give you an example. This is what Frank did with me. He said, okay, Joe, so what's stopping you from making the phone calls? Well, nah, it's not that they're stopping me, Frank. It's this. Okay, so let's go. Let's check it out. So you don't want to make the phone call because, finish the sentence, Joe. Well, because what if they tell me no? Or what if they already have a plan? Or what if, okay. So see, anything after the word because, you're going to find what's stopping you. What? Hey, you got a list of people. This is all you have, 3 people? Actually, nowadays, so open your phone, okay? Go to contacts, scroll all the way down. Wait up, give me about 5 minutes because it's long. It's a long list. Okay, scroll all the way down. I'll wait the 5 minutes. And then what does it say? 1,604 contacts. Okay, so it says 1,604, but you only put 5 on the list. No, Joe, there's no limiting belief. Okay, I got you. So why do you think these 4 deserve the opportunity and the 1,600 don't? Because, and then you might come up. Well, because they probably already have this. You ever get that? They already had it. Oh, people are smart. And it was funny because Frank said, because that was one of my, Frank, they're smart. They already, he said, no, Joe, look, I'm a doctor. I got screwed by Prudential. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. Oh, shoot, that's right. Hey, Joe, look at it this way. A doctor, what do they focus on? What's their expertise? Being whatever kind of doctor they are. Yeah, that's where they know their knowledge. Okay, so if I'm good at psychology, do you think I was good at finance? Oh, I get it now. So because they're smart doesn't mean anything. Because they have degrees doesn't mean anything. It matters if they're in this. And even when you sit with people that, I know finance. Look, I had a guy come in the office right? This was 2 years ago. I had a guy come in the office, somebody recruited him, and he worked for the Department of Banking and Insurance in New York. Came into my office. And I said to him, I said, oh, we started talking about the different types of policies. And I said, did you know that there was 1,400 complaints from consumers about, universal life policies? And this is how they work, and you don't keep the cash and all this. And then he stopped me. He said, wait, Joe, you said there was 1,400 complaints? I said, yeah. He said, I'm going to check to see if that's true, because you can't make claims that ain't true. And I said, oh no, let me show you. And I pulled up the Department of Banking and Insurance website article where it said it, and I showed it to him. And then after the meeting, he testified in our meeting. He said, I had one of those policies. I got screwed. See, guys, what we do is right. This guy worked for the Department of Banking and Insurance, and he got screwed. No, Joe, these people are smart. They know their stuff. My person works in finance. My person, he's a CPA. He's an accountant. Time out. Time out. My experience is that unless you're working in this industry like we are, nobody educates you like Primerica. Nobody educates. I've sat with agents who didn't know how the policies work that they sold. Agents. Guys, really start thinking about this. Just take a minute, start thinking about it. Somebody goes to work with Prudential and starts selling whole life and variable life insurance, okay? Do you really think Prudential, in their training model, they sit there and say, guys, we're going to train today on how these policies work, okay? The whole life policy, the real kicker is when you die, we keep the cash and the client only gets one. So we're going to tell them the reason you get this policy is because you could accumulate this money, but yet we don't give it to them. That's the first policy, okay? And this is how much you get paid on it. The second policy is universal life. Oh, this is worse. See, because we figured out a way to take the guarantee off of the whole life and put the guarantee on the client, so we're not guaranteed to have it. See, that's guaranteed to age 100. We want to take away the guarantee. So they don't know the cost of the insurance goes up every year, and there is no guarantee on the cost, and we can change the cost of the insurance based on what's happening in the market. Oh man, this is great. And by the time they turn 60, 65, the policy cancels, so we don't have to pay any death claims. This is a good training. This is a good training, man. I work for Prudential. I work for my life. They don't do those trainings. So what happens is when they train their salespeople, they don't tell them how it works. So you don't have to sit there, oh, this guy worked for Prudential 20 years. If you work for Prudential 20 years, two things I know. One is if he knows how it works, he's an a-hole, okay? He's an a-hole. Number two is he most likely doesn't know he's screwing people. And when I sit with him, I'm going to show him that I'm going to find out if he's an a-hole. When I explain, he says, yeah, I know it works that way. If he's that way, I don't even want to talk to the guy. If he sits there and says, oh my God, you mean I've been screwing myself and other families? If he has a conscience, he's going to want to get out of that. I sat with agents, guys, agents that work with Prudential, and they had a mental breakdown because when they found out how these policies work and how they screwed people, they were so beat up on themselves because of the families they screwed. So you got to understand, it don't matter who's on your list. They don't know finance like us. They don't know. They don't know. So don't sit there and prejudge and say, well, these people have a degree. They're smart. They do well in life. No, it's those people you want to see because those people have common sense. And you need common sense. Some people you go to that are really, Joe, these people really need it. Why? Because they don't have a job. They don't have this. They don't have it. No. You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding. You got to understand that we're looking for people that are looking for a change. We're not trying to convince somebody to change their life and get off the couch. We're looking for people that are already in the pursuit of changing their life. See, I was 21, but I was in the pursuit of changing my life. Frank Dillon was 46. He was in the pursuit of changing his life. Well, how did Frank do it? Well, come on. I sit with many doctors. They don't want to do anything else. That's what they do. But then I sit with doctors and they, look, we got a doctor that just went over 200,000 in income on our team, 2 years into business. And guess what? Guess what, Jackie? He got screwed. He got screwed. He had one of those WFG policies, right? Paying like $800 a month. And he got screwed. So you got to change the mindset, change the way you think. This is a great company. But if you make the change, it'll be even a greater company because it's greater when it works for you, not just other people. So I'm giving you the example here that what I went through. So I worked on my beliefs, right? I changed my standards. My standards I hold for myself. Because when you believe in yourself, you have high standards, whether it's waking up early, dressing up, taking care of yourself, health-wise, all those things. Guys, you got to have a standard for yourself. Low standards never change anybody's lives. Think about it. As a matter of fact, people with low standards, that's where they have the most problems in life. High standards. Think about this. We give our kids high standards. Clean your room, make your bed, get good grades. We do all that for them. We always have a high standard for the kids, but we have a low standard for ourselves. So just like you wouldn't have low standards for your kids, right? Remember, it was that movie with Adam Sandler, right? Daddy or whatever, where he had the kid. He had to take care of the kid, right? And it wasn't his kid. And he's like, look, I'm going to do a new philosophy because my parent, Big Daddy, there you go, right? I'm going to do a new philosophy. My parents were all on me because he was a lawyer and my parents pushed me. So I'm going to treat the kid. Hey, kid, what do you want? I want to eat ketchup. You want to pee on the wall? Pee on the wall. He wants to sleep in the bed, pee in the bed. He would put paper down. And then later on, he found out that was the wrong thing, right? He was like, man, that is the wrong thing. Have to have structure, have to have standards. Guys, look, you got to understand, high standards is good. High standards is good. Now, here's the thing. When you have held yourself at high standards, you expect other people, the best, to bring the best out of other people on your team. You have to have high standards in yourself because the way you see others is the way you see yourself. So if I believe in myself, then I'm going to believe in the people I'm training. If I don't believe in myself, then I'm going to be, hey, Brian, there's an appointment today. Do you think you could do it on your own? If you could, that's great. If not, if you need me, let me know. I could come with you, right? See, when I have low standards in me, then I'm gonna put that on Brian. But if I have high standards on me, I'm gonna say someday, hey, Brian, there's an appointment today. You got this, bro. Trust me. No, Joe, I don't think I could do it. Hey, Brian, if I didn't think you could do it, I would have got somebody else, man. Trust me. We've been in the field. I've seen you. I know you got this. You could do this. Oh, my leader believes in me. Okay, I got it. And then when he goes out, whether he hits or he misses, you're there. Oh, Joe, man, I'm so upset at it. Hey, Brian, time out. I'm so proud of you, man. You went out there and you did it. So what? Man, I'm so proud. Man, you could have told me no. You could have something, but you went out there. Now, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. How did you feel? Man, I was a little scared. But look, here's the thing. From what you told me, even if I went on that appointment, I wouldn't have closed it either. Brian, I'm so proud of you, man. Look, you went and you did it. Look, that's the whole point, right? And then Brian's feeling good about him. What did you learn from it? I learned that, man, it wasn't that hard. Did they bite your head off? Did they throw you out? No, they didn't. Brian, look, man, this is what it's about. But if I don't have high standards in me, look, I used to do that to Frank Dillon all the time, man. Frank would say, hey, Joe, what do you think about having Joe train? Well, look, man, Frank, Joe can't do it. What do you mean Joe can't do it? Yeah, no, Frank, Joe's new, right? He's had his license for 6 months. He can't do it, right? See that new 6 months. No. And then Frank, you say, no, Joe, he could give him a shot. No, Frank, I'm telling you, the appointments are 6 pointers. They're good. I don't want to miss closings, man. We're going to go. And then I kept doing that and doing that and doing that. And then one day Frank said, let me ask you a question, Joe. At what point did I ever do that to you? I said, Frank, it's me, man. I'm good. No. At what point did I do that to you? And I looked and I said, wait a minute. Frank, you never did that crap to me. You took me on one appointment. You made me do it. I was so upset with you because I said I didn't need you there if you were going to make me do it. And then I never asked you again to go with me. And he said, yeah, that's the way I got rid of you. Ah, you son of a gun. And did I ever go with you ever again? No. How did I coach you? Over the phone, in person, role playing. So Joe, you got to do that with your team too. Oh my God, Frank. I missed it. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. As you change your standards, as you change your beliefs, your business is going to change. Who you hang around with is who you become. Right? We went over that. So here's the last thing I want to talk to you about. Right now, you guys really appreciate your leader, your leadership team. You love your RVPs, but love ain't good enough, right? What's love got to do with it? I love when people say, Joe, we love you. Here's how it works. Unless you're changing your life and getting financially independent, don't give me that love. Because if you really love me, you would get free. You would do what I'm showing you to change your life. It's not, love ain't going to put your kid through college. Love ain't going to pay off your house. Love ain't going to get you in the right neighborhood. Love ain't going to do that. I don't want the love. I want you to go out and make the change and go win for yourself. And as you go win for yourself, you pay back everybody who poured into you. So right now, your leaders are on a Ruby run. I know they could do it because we're doing it. We were at 700 grand the beginning of last year, okay? We were at 700 grand. Your leaders right now, this month, going to go over 700 grand. And they better go over 700 grand, right? Because you guys are there, okay? So they're about to click over their seventh diamond. And you see the power of Zoom, what it did for your hierarchy. I see what the power it did for our hierarchy over the last 9 months, right? So what you got to look at right now is how can we, as a team, break through the limiting belief that we could be $1 million team? And what's gonna happen when you guys do it? See, I had to go through that myself last year when everybody, Joe, you could do this. Let's do it. I'm like, I don't know about this. Yeah, but Joe, you always talk about these limiting, bro, you got to break through this ceiling. Because if you can break through the ceiling, then your team's going to break through the ceiling. And when they break through the ceiling, what became hard becomes normal. So we got to do this. We have to do it. Because you guys, here's the thing that you guys don't understand. Your leaders are, all they do day in and day out is talk to themselves and talk to them about, man, I see so much potential in Jackie, in Brian, in Timmy, in Jessica, in Joe. Man, if they could just get this, man, they would just, and they would just, and if they could just, and if they just, man, I see where they're at. Man, they can do this. Man, I want them. Man, they have those student loans. I know that if they did this, they could pay those student loans. Man, the life they want is right there. They're such a good person. Man, they deserve this. Man, how can I help them? How can I help them? That's all we do. That's all we do. You know why? Because we are very grateful and appreciative, and we are grounded in to know the reason we are where we are is because of our team. We understand that we're not good. We're not good. It's just consistency over time compounds, right? And that's what we are. We're consistent over time. You guys can rely on us. You can trust us. You know, when the wind blows, we're still there. It doesn't matter, storm, this, that. Our roots are so deep that you can count on us that we're always gonna be there. And all we want for you guys is for you to achieve the success that we've already went down that mile. And right now, what we got to do is we got to break through that mindset that we could be $1 million team. What does it mean? What does it mean to be $1 million team? Well, this is what happened. Watch this. It's amazing because Glenn, we had Glenn January in our Super Saturday, right? And Glenn was showing, and Ed and Yvonne know this. We've seen this slide 1,000 times, and it shows what happens to the team when they search for the ruby, when they get on a common goal. See, the ruby ain't for the leaders. The ruby is for you guys. That's what it's for. The ruby is for you guys. See, I understood when I was part of Frank's Base Shop, and man, when Frank went RVP, we're like, Frank, you got to get it. Frank got the ring 2 months later. We're like, Frank, you got to have the ring because, man, when I go out and I tell people this is my mentor, this is my leader, boom, Frank got the ring, right? Then Frank got, boom, 250,000, right? And then we had the jackets. Frank had the blue jacket. Man, we got to get the jackets. And it was always about your leader doing that because you were so proud of your leader. Because if your leader went first, that means you were next. You were next. You were next. You were next. Because I understood playing sports all my life that the team is only as good as the players. And there's got to be players on the team that put the team in place. See, when I always played on a team, I want to be the best team player. I wanted to do the most, and be the biggest cheerleader, right? Because if we're going to win that way. And when Glenn would show us the slide, it's like, oh my God, all I care about is my team winning. I want them to win. How do we get them to win? And the only way to get your team to win is when they go on a mission to accomplish something bigger than themselves, and they break through that limiting belief to transform. And when we transform, the surge happens. So watch this. This is the company now. New watches, when a team surges to go to the million, this is the average, 3 new watch wearers, 2 new ring wearers, 2 new additional 100,000. They go up 100,000, new diamonds, 125 new districts, 30 new divisions, 13 regional, 3 RVPs. Total team size of almost 800. This is the average, what happened to the average team that went to $1 million in income. So now when we look, we want our team to win. You want to win. You want your team to win. The only way they're ever going to win is if they're part of something bigger than themselves, And this is what happened. So now I'm here to tell you guys that this screen lied to me. It lied to me. Well, how did it lie to you? Well, because we got more ring wearers and more diamonds than what it said on that. And we're not there yet, right? We didn't even cross the million. We're going to cross the million. It lied to me. We had Kitty Davis, who just got her ring last month. We had Diane Sconyers got her ring. We had Chris Rambarant, who not only got his ring in May, but he just got his 2nd diamond last month. You see him on the home screen. Wait, you mean you got a guy who got his ring and then got a 2nd diamond? Yes, all because of the Ruby Run. Yes. Then you got Lou Jean Bart, who grew his income from 500 to 600,000. And then I got another RVP. Liz Alati went from 100 to 200 during COVID when she lost her husband. Wait, Joe, so that means you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So this screen lied to me. I'm glad it lied. I'm glad. And the other thing, we don't have 800 licenses. You heard Joe, we got 570, right? Guys, it's like the movie 300. It doesn't matter how many licenses you have. It matters how many writing licenses you have, how many believing licenses you have. That's going to make the difference. Because at the end of the day, I don't know about you and your hierarchy, but I know when I look at my hierarchy, my numbers, the only people that put up the only numbers that count are the numbers that are written by somebody. Okay? Just having a license doesn't mean it equals numbers. And if you look at it, it's all about you training and developing yourselves and getting on that mission and breaking through and using that license that you got so you could transform. And the belief level changes. Look, I got Lou Jean Bard. He's right now about to go over 700,000 in income. This screen lied to us. And guess what? We're not stopping. We're not stopping. We're going after it, guys. We're going after it. The Ruby Ring will transform your lives here. And if you're on this Zoom, it will transform your life. You have to have this as part of your focus. And I'll tell you why. Because we do more to help other people than we do ourselves. So if you go to just to do it yourself, you ain't gonna do it. And I can prove to you because you ain't do it yet. Well, do you have the ring? No, I don't have the ring. Okay, so why don't you have the ring? You have Primerica. Nothing's holding you back. No, it's just yeah. But when you go to do something for somebody else, look, that's why accountability works. Accountability is when you hold yourself accountable with somebody else because you will let yourself down because you don't believe big things for you. So accountability is when you help. Hey Frank, I'm going to do this. The next thing you know, oh my God, I told Frank I was going to do this. I don't want to do it. I'm scared, but I got to do it because I don't want to let down my leader. See, only when you care about your leaders do you start understanding what these terms, accountability, and what all this stuff means. The last thing, guys, before I end, is we had Gary Cornegay on one of our Zooms, and Gary said, "You got now, I got next." And when he said that, he said, "Joe, see, guys, you got to understand. Ed and Yvonne got now, but who here got next?" See, next means when they go over, that means there's going to be a next $200,000 earner here, a next $300,000, a next $4, a next $5, a next RVP, a next district, a division. My question is, who is going to get the next with the push over? That's the question. That's the question. See, I don't know about you, but I made sure I'm going to be Frank Dillon's first $1 million earner. And I made sure I was his first RVP. I made sure I was his #1 earner. Why? Because that's the way I pay back somebody who helped me make $10 million in 25 years to get financially independent, to change my family's life, to have ownership. That's how I pay somebody back for believing in me. By giving them the pleasure to say, man, look what I did. Because I believed in this kid. Because I did in this. Man, look what. See, you guys forget. You guys miss out on the reward that the person who helped you gets when you win. You miss that. See, they always say it's better what? To give than receive. Is that true? Is that true? It's better to give. So don't you think that when you win, you just gave back to your leader? Come on, think about your kids. When you see your kids successful, they get an A, they get this, they're growing. Don't that feel so much better? You don't care about you. You care about them. Guys, stop robbing your leaders from getting that feeling of giving. So the question is, are we ready for this?
We're ready, Joe.
We ready? Or
Yeah.
Let's go,
Let's
Joe.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Joe, come on, let me hear
Let's
you guys.
go.
We're ready. We're ready.
Hey,
Joe, hey.
here's a problem. Here's a problem. I moved to Florida. I don't know if I was beautiful. So maybe that's the problem. We got all this. So we're like, man, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you for allowing me to talk to the team. I appreciate you guys and your leadership. And I'm so excited to be part of and the achievement that you guys are going through. You're definitely hitting that. There's no question the 7th this month. We on for the 7th this month? All right.
Yeah.
It's done, Coach. It's done.
Right, baby.
Hey Joe, thank you so much for showing up. I know Ed Ortiz, he want to show you some. He want to say some words, but man, amazing training. I know this is exactly what we needed to hear. Man, I got like 3 pages. Ed is there. When you hear he's there.
Thank you, Joe. That was awesome.
All right. Hey, give it up. Hey, everybody, give it up.
Let's go. Thank you.
Joe. So
Thank you,
awesome, man.
Joe.
This was absolutely phenomenal. Great training, man. I thank you so much, man. This is, let me tell you, this training that he just unlimited belief, man. People pay money just to listen to this, okay? And we had just the honor to have him, teach us and take us to the next level. So we sincerely appreciate you. This is probably one of the best training best training that I've been part of, you know, taking all those notes, and because it's a mind thing, it's a mindset, you know, you switch your mind, you switch your life. And that's what Joe just did for us today. And I personally want to thank Joe. I really want to thank Joe because about a year or so ago, I spoke at a convention, and because of that, Joe came to me and he referred us to Joe Susana, who was heading down to Tampa. And if it wasn't for Joe Tansey, we would not have Joe Susana on our team. And Joe and Madeline, as you know, they're a rock in this organization. You talk about, you know, hey, listen, anything you want to make happen, that is the go-to person. But I could see where it came from just by listening to Joe right now. So Joe, I thank you so much. I thank you for the value that you brought to our team today. I thank you for bringing Joe and Madeline into our life, man. And I really appreciate you with everything that you've done, okay? And here's my little one, bam. And listen, let me tell you guys something. It's what you do with this information now. All right, take it, run it, apply it, do something, switch your mind, switch your life, man. It's phenomenal, okay? Right now, let me just kind of give you some goals. Right now, we're sitting at 125 recruit as a team by 125,000 in premium as a team, okay? If you're gonna do something, here's a challenge for you. For those of you by Monday, you know you got all day today, you got all day tomorrow, go ahead and apply this information. Go out there and be bold. Put a goal out there and say, you know, by Monday, I'm gonna give me one recruit, I'm gonna do 1,000 in premium. Do that. If you do that, we double what we have, okay? And we'll hit our goals. And like Joe said, it's not about us hitting our goal. It's nothing about us opening the door so all of you can come through. It's like, what did he say? Now and who's next? I'm now and you're next. That's the way it is, man. That's what it's all about, okay? So I ask of you guys to apply yourself, man, and let's go make it happen, man. Let's go make a difference in our life, okay? By helping other families out there. So God bless you, Joe. Thank you so much for bringing it to the table, man. Really proud of you. Mi casa es su casa. Anytime you're down here in Tampa, man, hey, come on in, you know, hey, you know, you're always welcome. And we thank you. And we just want to, you know, bless you on that one, man. So thank you so much, guys. All right, guys. So I know it's about that time. I really appreciate everyone else out there. Let's go ahead and thank Joe. Thank Joe right now. Everybody give it up for the great Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Good job. Fire, Joe. Thanks, you're the man.
Sign out. Sign out. All right, on the count of three, we are.
Thank you very much.
Aviators. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. We are.
Aviators.
We are aviators. Out.